Started last Wednesday, and I decided that between now and Christmas I'll concentrate on the season and then finish that up after Christmas.
Okay.
But I wanted to share something with you. My aunt in Statesboro sent this to me the other day, and I think it might have made the rounds last year. I'm not absolutely positive of that, but if it's the one I'm thinking of, this one's a little better done. Somebody's kind of polished it up a little bit, but it should be very provocative to all of us. In some of the things we get on our high horses about during the holidays, and it should make us think beyond the surface of that and go a little behind that. And anyway, just listen for a moment. Sister Ann Rouse, if you'll forgive me, you've heard this already, so I guess you were able to hear me yesterday. A holiday letter from God. My dear children, it has come to my attention that many of you are upset that folks are taking my name out of the season. How I personally feel about this celebration can probably be most easily understood by those of you who have been blessed with children of your own. I don't care what you call the day. If you want to celebrate my birth, just get along and love one another. Now, having said that, let me go on. If it bothers you that the town in which you live doesn't allow a manger scene depicting my birth, then get rid of a couple of your own Santas and snowmen in your yard and put up a small nativity scene on your front lawn. If all my followers did that, there wouldn't be any need for such a scene in the town square, because they'd be all over town. Stop worrying about the fact that people are calling the tree a holiday tree instead of a Christmas tree. It was I who made all the trees. You can and may remember me anytime you look at any one of them. If you want to give me a present in remembrance of my birth, here's my wish list. Instead of writing protest letters to object to the way my birthday is celebrated, write letters of love and hope to soldiers away from home. They're terribly afraid and lonely this time of year. I know that because they tell me all the time. Visit someone in a nursing home. You don't have to know them personally. They just need to know that someone cares about them. Instead of giving your children a lot of gifts you can't afford and they don't need, spend some time with them. Tell them the story of my birth and why I came to live with you down here. Hold them in your arms and remind them that I love them. Pick someone that has hurt you in your past and forgive him or her. Did you know that someone in your town will attempt to take their life this season because they feel so alone and hopeless? Since you probably don't know who any of those people are, try giving everyone you meet a warm smile. It could make a difference. Also, you might consider supporting the local hotline. They talk with those people every day. Instead of nitpicking about what the retailer in your town calls the holiday, be patient with the people who work there. Give them a warm smile and a kind word. Even if they're not allowed to wish you Merry Christmas, that doesn't stop you from wishing them one. Then stop shopping there on Sunday.
Amen.
If the store didn't make so much money on that day, they'd close and let their employees spend their time in worship and at home with their families. If you really want to make a difference, support a missionary, especially one who takes my love and the good news of my gospel to those who have never heard my name. You may already know someone like that. Here's a good one. There are individuals and whole families in your town who not only will have no Christmas tree, but neither will they have any presents to give or receive. If you don't know them, buy some food and a few gifts and take them to some charity that believes in me and let them make the delivery for you. Finally, if you want to make a statement about your belief in Christmas and you're loyal to me, then behave like a Christian. Don't do things in secret you wouldn't do in my presence. Let people know by your actions that you're one of mine. And remember this, I'm God and I can take care of myself. Love me and do what I've told you to do. I'll handle the rest. Thought that was right good.
Very good.
You know, does it bother me that entire chains of stores can't wish someone Merry Christmas? Well, yeah, I guess it does.
Mm-hmm.
But in the long and short of it, where is my time better spent? Complaining about that, or as the thing suggested, you tell them Merry Christmas. You be their witness. You be their light, not you, we.
Right, yes.
That's a plural, all-inclusive phrase, and I know you know that.
I've had some clerks this year, I tried to make it a point to say Merry
Yeah.
Christmas to them, and just about every one of them has said, you too, I'm not allowed.
And
Okay,
that's-
you're right, got
That's
it.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do I like that? No, I don't. But by the same token,
They probably don't like it either.
Well, that's,
They
but,
can say,
and
well,
have
they
to
can
have a
see it
job.
if they're off the job. Yes, they can see it
Well, sure.
on their own time. Yes, they can see it
Sure.
on their own time. They can see it.
I just thought that was a little thought-provoking, a bit provocative in that sense, and it makes some good points. You know, it's kind of like the prayer in public school thing. Would that be my preference? Yes. Do I think the church has been waylaid and more time wasted on that than the spreading of the gospel? Absolutely. If the church has spent as much time on her God-given mission as she has spent worrying about whether little Johnny can pray in school or not, we live in a different place right now, in a different time.
You know, Brother Hugh, I heard Franklin Graham say the other day that the way things are going, if we can't turn this thing around, that 100 years from now, Christianity will be almost non-existent.
isn't that?
Well, I don't think he's right, and I'll tell you why. I think there are people that do believe that. The Scriptures teaches us that in all things Christ will have the preeminence. Now there is obviously, very definitely coming a day when the church will be
Under the gun.
much more hard pressed than she is right now, and will be driven underground, for lack of
yeah.
a better word,
Right.
you know, per se.
Mm-hmm.
But by the same token, the light of Christ will always have a place in this world as long as she stands. And we have to remember the promise and the absolute assurity of Jesus Christ to Peter and to the church forever is that the gates of hell will not prevail against her. And I think that Franklin and I saw some reference to that in this week myself. And I tried to look at what he was saying in context, and I think that he's, you know, I think that he's well intended. I just think he took it a little too far.
Well, I think the operative word there would be as our words, as we know it,
Yeah,
because it definitely is going to take on a different.
it will.
Well, he was talking about the number of churches closing every week.
Yeah.
And they're opening, and it seems like they're opening more so in, I believe, Russia. They're opening more so. if I'm not
and if you
mistaken.
look back at history, that's just kind of the cycle. We, you know, I don't doubt that America will be the mission field. She is pretty well, she's headed that way. We, you know, it's kind of funny when China sends missionaries here, and they are.
And they'll be continuing in the Christian Chinese missionaries to America from overseas.
And so what we have to do then, as Christians here, is understand that, first off, our familial circle is larger, but yet again, we have to understand that the frustrations and the difficulties of ministering in our society as we know it are only going to get worse. And it's not going to be for the faint-hearted. I can assure you of that. There is very little of the generation just behind me. My generation and Stephen and Jeffrey's buddies, the one coming up after us and beyond, see very little relevance in the church anymore. That started in my generation, ours. The church just isn't a relative part of their life. It's something, it's an institution like the rest of the institutions of society that are there when you need them. If you got to bury somebody, the church is a good thing to have around.
I was going to say.
If you need to get
Funerals
married,
and weddings.
yeah. If you need to get
That's what they
married,
feel like.
you know, a minister's a cool thing to have if you don't want to go to the cold courtroom, you know, and stand in front of a civil authority and do your vows that way. Beyond that, other than the occasional Christmas program, there's really not much that they see need in it for.
Isn't that sad?
It's very sad. By the same token, we also have to realize that there are among places where the truth is preached. And you have got to remember, you got entire cities where the pure doctrine of Christ is unknown.
It's unallowed.
You have entire cities that are full of churches, but where the pure